Have you ever found yourself in a similar situation? Do you feel like you're constantly chasing more money but have yet to satisfy? If so, then you're in the right place. I recently read Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money, which completely changed my perspective on money and personal finance. In the next few minutes, I'll be sharing with you 8 money lessons that changed my life and can change yours too. So please sit back, relax, and let's dive into the psychology of money. Lesson number 1. Money can't buy happiness. It's a concept introduced previously, but we often need to pay more attention to it in our pursuit of financial success. I learned this lesson the hard way. After years of chasing a higher salary, I realized it didn't bring me joy. Sure, it provided security and comfort, but it didn't satisfy my deeper desires. My relationships, experiences, and personal growth were my authentic happiness sources. Morgan Housel, a financial writer and investor, shares this sentiment. He believes money can provide security and comfort, but can't buy happiness. In his words, happiness, it turns out, is a skill you can learn, not something you can buy. So instead of focusing solely on increasing your income, focus on what genuinely makes you happy. Spend time with loved ones, pursue hobbies and interests, and invest in personal growth. These are the things that will bring lasting happiness. Lesson number 2, the power of compound interest. Have you ever heard the saying, time is money? Well, when it comes to the power of compound interest, time can make you money. Let's break it down for you. Compound interest is the interest earned on the initial amount of money and the interest accumulated over time. In other words, the longer you invest your money, the more interest you earn on that money and the more money you make in the long run. It was a painful lesson when I withdrew my savings from a high-interest account after only a few months. I needed the money for a down payment on a car, but looking back, it wasn't worth sacrificing the power of compound interest. I would have earned more interest over time if I had kept my money in that account. Lesson number 3, the importance of saving. I know what you might be thinking. Saving, that's nothing new, but hear me out. Saving isn't just about putting money aside for a rainy day or a vacation. It's about creating financial freedom for yourself. Let me tell you a personal story. I used to be terrible at saving. I would spend my paycheck as soon as it hit my account, and I never thought about the future. But then I realized I needed to start saving to achieve my long-term financial goals. So I started small. I set aside a certain percentage of my monthly paycheck and made sure to stick to it. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy at first. But over time, I started to see the benefits. For example, because I had saved up a decent amount of money, I could take a leap of faith and quit my job to start my own business. And because I had money saved up, I didn't have to worry about paying the bills while I got my business off the ground. Lesson number 4. The danger of debt. We all have goals and dreams, but they can be tough to reach when debt is weighing us down. Debt can be a slippery slope, and if you're not careful, it can lead to financial ruin. Financial writer Morgan Housel once said, "Debt is borrowing from your future self." Think about that for a second. Every time you swipe your credit card or take out a loan, you promise your future self that you'll repay it. But what happens when you can't? That's where the danger comes in. I know from personal experience how debt can impact your finances negatively. I took on too much debt when I was younger without fully understanding the consequences. It took years to dig myself out of that hole and get my finances back on track. So what's the lesson here? Avoid debt as much as possible, and if you have to take on debt, make sure you have a solid plan to pay it off as quickly as possible. Trust me, your future self will thank you for it. Lesson number 5, understanding risk and reward. Do you know why some people make intelligent investment decisions while others fail miserably? The answer is simple. They understand the concept of risk and reward. I once invested all my savings in a startup that promised huge returns. However, I needed to understand the risk involved fully, and it failed. Investing without knowing the risk involved is a recipe for disaster. On the other hand, I invested in a low-risk mutual fund, and although the returns were modest, I was happy with my decision because I fully understood the risk involved. Understanding risk and reward involves knowing the trade-off between an investment's potential gains and losses. It's important to ask yourself, is the potential reward worth the risk? So before investing, take the time to understand the risk involved and ask yourself, is the potential reward worth the risk? Remember, the key to successful investing is to be informed and make intelligent decisions based on your unique situation. Lesson number 6, the role of emotions in finance. I think it's easy to think that money is just about numbers and logic, but our emotions play a massive part in our financial decisions. Let me share a personal experience with you. I received a job offer with a significant pay increase a few years ago. I was ecstatic and immediately started imagining everything I could buy and do with that extra money. However, I should have taken the time to consider the new responsibilities that came with the job, including a longer commute and less free time. Ultimately, the job made me miserable, but I had already committed to a more expensive lifestyle and couldn't quickly leave. It's just one example of how emotions can impact financial decisions. It's essential to take a step back and assess how we feel about money and our choices. Or are we making decisions out of fear, greed, or a desire for instant gratification? Recognizing and addressing our emotions can make more rational and beneficial financial choices. Lesson number 7, the importance of diversification. Are you someone who puts all your eggs in one basket? Well, let me tell you there are better ways to go regarding your finances. Diversification is critical, and it's one of the most important money lessons I've learned from the psychology of money. Let me break it down for you. Diversification is all about spreading your investments across different assets and industries to minimize the risk of financial loss. When you put all your money in one investment, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to market fluctuations and potential financial ruin. I had a difficult time learning this lesson when I was younger. I invested all my money in a company I thought was sure, but when that company went bankrupt, I lost everything. That experience taught me the value of diversification. By spreading my investments across different assets, I'm protecting myself against potential losses and allowing myself to reap the rewards of other markets. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, friend. Diversify your investments and give yourself the best chance for financial success. Lesson number 8, the value of time. Think about it. The earlier you start saving for retirement, the more time your money has to grow and compound. But on the other hand, if you wait too long to start saving, you could miss out on years of potential growth. Morgan Housel, a renowned financial writer, once said, "Investing is the only business I know where when things go on sale, people run out of the store." This quote highlights the importance of time when it comes to investing. If you wait for the perfect time to invest, you could miss out on significant opportunities. I waited too long to save for retirement, and I'm playing catch-up, but I've also seen the positive impact of time when investing. The longer I hold on to my investments, the more they grow. I hope you enjoyed learning about the psychology of money and the 8 life-changing lessons I shared. It's easier than you think. Start by examining your relationship with money and be conscious of your spending habits. Remember, money can't buy happiness, but can buy you freedom. I want to hear your stories too. Share your experiences with money and the psychology of money in the comments below, and remember to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends and family. And before you go, be sure to check out the following video on the end screen for even more money tips and tricks. Until next time, keep hustling and making that money work for you.